Hello beautiful and welcome back to my channel, and welcome to this video where we are going to do a top 3 in every category in the face department, face and base department. I've seen this video floating around and I don't know 100% who came up with the idea. If you know who was first or if this was just something that a lot of people have been doing at the same time, do let me know. I will link that person down below. I will link a couple of people down below that I'm following though, that I have seen do this kind of a video if you want to see more people. If you want to see more people do this kind of a thing, but you've been asking me a lot if I can do this as well, so today we're doing that. And if you haven't been here before, hello, my name is Angie. I'm such a lover of beauty makeup, especially things that are a little bit colorful. I will say base products. I mean, I love base products, but I'm a little bit of a creature of habit when it comes to it, so maybe therefore my picks will be a bit interesting. But if you want to see some more color in your timeline, if you want to see some more makeup on your timeline, don't forget to subscribe because I upload 5 videos a week. For the longest time on my channel, I wasn't reviewing anything that wasn't like eyeshadows or highlighters or lip colors. It's just the past like 2 years that I have been reviewing other things as well. But when I find a favorite, it becomes a favorite. For a really long time, some of these things have been favorites in my collection for years, quite some time. So here's the thing. I'm gonna do face makeup now, foundation, concealer, powder, highlighter, bronzer, blush, you know, those things. And then I'm gonna do a separate video where I do eye and lip products. So that video is coming as well in case you're interested. This is gonna be current favorites. And I like looked through all my makeup and I had to be honest with myself. What is actually like my current favorite formulas when it comes to these things right now? This might change, and if you want me to do it again in the future, do remind me. When it comes to foundation, I don't think anyone's going to be surprised that the Natasha Denona Foundation X is at the top, because this is my most used, my absolute favorite foundation. I discovered this foundation in the beginning of 2020 and it has been my favorite foundation since. I think it is being discontinued because I have seen it on sale in so many countries. I don't know if they were just moving stock or if they are discontinuing it. If they are, I hope they come up with something similar, but I was gonna say even better, but I don't even know how that's possible. This is very liquidy. I would say a high coverage, but it's not like that Instagram cement full block out everything. It's more like I would call an editorial full coverage. It is a beautiful, like natural matte finish. It doesn't look luminous, but it looks a little bit like natural, like this is your skin if it was absolute, like, you know, airbrush perfection, because it just is thin and beautiful on the skin. It's wonderful. It's just a wonderful foundation. I love this. This is my favorite. When I want to have a full coverage foundation, this is what I reach for, because I still feel like it makes my skin looks like skin, just airbrushed. I have mine in 25W, which is a light warm. It's what I'm wearing today. And I have the 41Y, which is a medium with a yellow undertone. This is what I use when I self-tan. Wonderful foundation. I do have a backup. It's absolutely fantastic. I cannot recommend it enough. When I want to have a little less coverage, this is my second favorite foundation. This is almost out. It is down to here. It's almost out. This is the Giorgio Armani Neo Nude Foundation. The longevity of this one and also the other one is just impeccable. This one looks amazing on the skin for 12 plus hours. I don't even have to powder or anything. For reference, I have a normal skin. I do get a little bit oily if it is very humid outside, but I don't really get dry or oily in just what I would call like normal Swedish weather. I am 37, so I do have some fine lines, some texture, stuff like that. This is a medium coverage, I would say a natural, slightly satiny finish without being greasy or oily. It doesn't look like sticky or dewy. It's more like a satiny, fresh, slightly more dewy looking than the other foundation. Like I said, medium coverage, amazing longevity, dries down, so it's not tacky on the skin. This is the foundation that I wore to my wedding. Absolutely adore it. I'm almost out of this one. I have it in 5.5, which is a medium, and 4, which is a light to medium. I love it. I'm definitely repurchasing. This is, like I said, one of my favorite foundations. I Could not recommend it more. And when it comes to light coverage, I could probably have gone on and on, you know, telling you about my 3 favorite light coverage, 3 favorites. But here's the thing, I don't own that many foundations. So if I would do that, I would show you almost all the foundations I have. And then what's the point of this challenge? The challenge is to really hone it in and to just be like, what is your top 3? So when it comes to light coverage, I would have to go with the Fenty Eavesdrop. This is when I would pick this one over this one is when I want a slightly matte result, because this is a natural to matte result and it also has a little less coverage and the longevity is amazing. This is the one that I would use if I need something that's very easy to apply. For me, this looks great on the skin. When I want something, when I'm not sure if I might be oily during the day, this one works better because it has a little bit of a matte touch to it and it just is effortless. I don't have to babysit this at all. I think it looks like my skin but better. I have it in shade 8 and I will say this shade is a hinge too light for me, especially when I self-tan. So I kind of want to get it in one more shade because otherwise I have to mix. This is also the perfect mixing one. If you mix this with a luminous primer or a very glowy, dewy foundation like 50-50, this one is beautiful to sheer it up with something dewy. It still doesn't break up the coverage and it still doesn't disrupt the formula. So that is something that I like doing as well. I really, really like this one. I discovered it this year and I think it is a really, really incredible foundation. I will link all these things down below. My links down below will be affiliated, and if you do shop through my links, thank you so much for supporting this channel. But yeah, I will link the things down below. Let's get into concealers. I have to start with this one because no one's gonna be surprised. I just wanted to show you, I have 3. Love this one. This is the NYX Born to Glow. Some people are saying that the Born to Glow range by NYX was being discontinued. From what I heard, it is being like repackaged. This might be incorrect. If they are discontinuing this one, plus one of the other things that I'm going to show you, they are making a huge mistake because this is one of the best things from NYX. The Born to Glow concealer is a very light, airy, medium coverage concealer that has a satin finish but still dries down. This one looks beautiful on my under eyes. I have a very textured under eyes, if I'm gonna be totally honest, and this one is the concealer that looks the best on my under eyes. I should have told you, by the way, I am wearing this foundation today. I think I told you, yeah, and I'm also wearing one of the concealers that I'm gonna be showing you. This is just my favorite concealer, and it's also perfect if you, like me, don't always want that full coverage look on your eyes. If you're using a tint or something that's like more light coverage, something like this that's medium coverage is gonna look a little bit more believable with a light coverage foundation. Beautiful concealer, highly recommended, especially if you have more mature under eyes. The next one, which is the one that I'm wearing today, is the Kosas one. This is the Revealer. I have mine in 04N. This is the one that I have under my eyes today. This has quickly become one of my favorites. I also really love the new Fenty concealer, and I mentioned that in the same video as this one as loving that, but I think the Fenty concealer and the NYX Born to Glow are kind of dupes of each other, and this one is more affordable, so I would say go for this one. The Kosas one is beautiful. It is high coverage, it is creamy and airy without being sticky, and I don't have to use too much powder to set it, and it looks really pretty under the eyes, and it doesn't have that cement finish. So some things will still peek through and make it look believable. But I feel like this is maybe this isn't what I would call an Instagram full coverage, but before Instagram, this was full coverage. I think that this is a really pretty concealer, and I really have been enjoying it. I think it looks beautiful under my eyes, and it holds up really good. Another one that I really like when I want to have something more full coverage, and the only reason why I'm not using this as much is because it is really light. I have number 1. I thought number 2 looked a little bit dark when I saw it in store, but I'm gonna be honest, I probably, if I'm gonna be using this more, did I say what this is? I didn't say what this is. This is the Giorgio Armani Power Fabric Concealer. I'm sorry, I will link it down below. I should probably pick this up in number 2 and either use number 2 or maybe use number 2 and number 1 together. But this is a beautiful light coverage. I just remembered that I bought this out of a recommendation of Mel Thompson. Oh, that hit me. I still don't know how to deal with that. My way of dealing with it is not dealing with it. I'm sorry. A second. Okay, that was rough, but this is a beautiful concealer. It is a little bit pricey, but it is lightweight and beautiful under your eyes. But yeah, this is number one, and it is way too light for me. So if you're also more of a light to medium, this is more for fair. Get shade number 2. Oh my god, I am a mess. I'm a mess. Some people get so annoyed when you don't address things online. But I can't function. I don't know how to deal with it. Let's get into powders. I am an incredible creature of habit when it comes to powders. I only truly love one under eye powder, and that is the NYX HD finishing powder in banana. This is like my 5th, 6th, I don't even know. This is so beautiful. I love this one. I've heard this is being discontinued. Can I, like, listen, help me, help, send help. What is the dupe of this one? I don't care about the price. I don't care. It doesn't have to be less expensive than this, but this like silky soft that feels buttery. This is not dry or that like super silky. This is like, it has a little bit of almost butteriness, or like there's something about this. It just hydrates and just keeps my under eyes from looking too textured, which, I mean, they already are, but this is just not emphasizing it, which some powders do. And it also has a little bit of coverage to it, which is that slight vanilla. I just love this one. I think this is so good, and it's literally like no money. I just need something just as good as this. I really hope that they're not discontinuing this. Please stay. Please stay. This is something that I'm pretty sure that they've already discontinued though, and this is the NYX High Glass. This is a finishing powder. I am wearing both of these products today. By the way, I did film this look. It should already be live on my channel. I will link it down below. This is in medium. It doesn't matter because this is discontinued. I really hope that they will somehow re-release this, because this is such a fantastic pressed, like glowy finishing powder. NYX makes really good powders, at least the pressed ones. They are beautiful. And like I said, I am not like the biggest fan of like powders. Sometimes I feel like people are talking about powders like, oh my god, it's like blurring the skin, making things look amazing. I don't see it. But with these two, I do see a difference. And another product that I really see a difference with is this one, and this is so good, and I'm so happy she re-released this. This is Jaclyn Cosmetics Luminous Powder, and I have this one here in Carrots, and I also have it in Brighton, which is like a more light peachy shade. This is a loose finishing powder that is very shimmery. Not like, it doesn't, okay, you can use this as a very faint like slight highlighter on your skin. The best way I like to use this is to use it with a brush like either like this or maybe even smaller like this, and I just brush it and I just buff it over my high points and my forehead and here and on my chin. I don't use it here because I don't want this part accentuated, but it's just a beautiful, gives your skin a luminous dewy finish without making it oily, because it is still a powder. I love this product so much. This is definitely the best product from Jaclyn Cosmetics, and if you're only going to try one product from the brand, I would definitely recommend this one. I love mine. I really do love mine. And I'm sure that there are people that have done this video that are doing like 3 best under eye powders and 3 best like finishing powders, but if I did that, I would mention half of my collection, and all of them I wouldn't even think are like favorites. So I thought I'd do it like this instead and actually mention the ones that are like favorites. When it comes to bronzer, I think this is really interesting. I'm gonna mention this one because I feel this is the newest one in my collection. Is that true? Actually, 2 of these are new, and I really love them. I'm gonna mention this one. This is the Juvia's Place bronzer. This is in medium. The main reason why I'm mentioning this one and not the Charlotte Tilbury bronzer, which I think is, they're equally good, if I'm gonna be honest. This one is a fraction of the price. I think the Charlotte Tilbury bronzer is beautiful, but this one gives me the same result. I did have a video, I'm telling you some of these dupes. I did have a video where I was doing half face drugstore, half face like high-end luxury, and I compared this to the Charlotte Tilbury, and I honestly think that they are so comparable that I would want to say that this is my favorite. I've been using this a lot, and when I want to go for a matte bronzer, this is the one. I think it's absolutely stunning. Another one that's a really new one, and this is the one that I'm wearing today, and that is the Anastasia Beverly Hills Cream Bronzer. This is such a good product, such a good product. I have mine in golden tan. I think this is the middle shade or slightly on the lighter side, I'm not 100% sure. I would have mentioned the Soul Body bronzer because that was my favorite bronzer before this one, or maybe the Milk Baked bronzer. I'm not 100% sure. I kind of like both of them. But I'm gonna be honest, I like this one even more. This is my favorite cream bronzer. I think this is such a good product. It is blendable, buildable, it works on all the foundations I've used it with. It works with the brush, it works with the sponge. It is such a good product. Very, very, very much recommend this one. If you are balling the budget, I would recommend the Soul Body one. I would say though that all of those shades run a little warm. I love warm bronzer, but if you are very anti a warm bronzer and if you feel like those pull a bit orange on you, maybe invest a couple more dollars and get this one from Anastasia instead, because it does come in some more cooler shade options as well. This is the bronzer that I've had out of these three the longest, and this, I had to be honest with myself, this is the bronzer that I use and enjoy the most, because the other two are kind of new, but I don't love this one. This is the Kiko Lost in Amalfi bronzer and highlighter duo in Sun Kissed. This is actually a highlighter, but I just go with my brush over these and it gives the most beautiful luminous satin finish bronzer. It is blendable, buildable, super pretty on the skin. The packaging is stunning. It is this almost like a matte metallic. Does that make sense? I don't know, but it's just such a pretty product. I've used this so much. I can see a big dip in it. Kiko is pretty affordable. I wish that the bronzer range was a little bit bigger, if I'm gonna be totally honest. But I can't deny that this is a beautiful product and I have been using it quite a lot. I feel like this gives a similar effect on the skin as the Kosas Baked Bronzer. The only difference is that this doesn't smell like old fries. This smells like nothing. Let's get into blush. And I'm gonna quickly get these out of the way because nobody is surprised that I am mentioning the Super Shock Cheeks in the blush formula from Colourpop. The Super Shock Cheeks are probably top 3 the best formulas in my collection, all categories, if I'm gonna be totally honest. This one is in chiffon. I bought this one and then I saw that, you know, the sale, like last chance to get it sale, you know, that sale they had when they were discontinuing things. They had this blush on that sale and then they kept it anyway, so I thought that they were discontinuing this, but I think it's still there. It is a peach to pink duochrome. This is very pinky, beautiful peachy on the skin. It is absolutely stunning. I love this one. You can still get this apparently. I'm so happy about that because this is a beautiful shade. This is also so pretty. This is Most Necessary. I love these blushes. This one has been through some rough times. This is like a warm pink. I like the shimmery formula more than I like the matte formula, but I do think the matte formula is good as well. I will say all the blushes I'm gonna mention here are shimmery because I love a glowy cheek. So if you like matte blushes, this segment isn't for you. Here's a formula that I think is being discontinued because I have not seen this at all places that sell Natasha Denona. These are the Natasha Denona Duo Glows. It only comes in 2 shades, one light and one dark. The dark one is called Alba. It is a warm coral with the gold sheen. This is a highlighter blush hybrid. This one is Rayo. It is like a more Barbie pink with a slightly like icy pink glow. Both of these are stunning, like absolutely stunning. I cannot begin to explain how beautiful these are on the skin. Like they are so glowy, so beautiful. You can like really build them up or you can just sheer them out and just have a little bit of glow on your cheeks. Since they are very glowy, you can also brush them up and have a little of blush draping glowy temple like moment. They are stunning. I love them. I really hope that she will come out with a similar like glowy powder blush highlighter formula because this formula is stunning. I will try and find it and link it down below, but I will make no promises because last time I tried to link it, it was really hard to find. But I can't deny that it is one of my favorite formulas. I absolutely love it. If I'm gonna be totally honest, this is top 3 my favorite blush formula. I love the Skin Glazing by Nabla. I have 4 of the shades here. I have a 5th shade as well that's pretty light that I use as a highlighter, but this is Independence. This is like a darker warm pink. Then I have Lola. This is more like a raspberry, and then I have Adults Only. This is so beautiful. This works on me with a very light hand. This is a satin red. Ugh, so beautiful. This will work on all skin tones, and you can use these as blush. You can use this as a blush highlighter hybrid. You can use them as a highlighter as well. It all depends on your skin tone. And this one is Truth. This is probably my most used. This is like a slightly golden peach. It's so pretty. I hope that they will come up with more shades in this formula because it is a beautiful formula. I was very close to including the bronzer as well, but I had to be honest and just admit to myself that this is the one that I prefer, but the bronzers are really good as well. If I had a top 4, the bronzers from Nabla would have been here as well. Okay, let's get into highlighters. I cannot mention just one color. It is impossible. I can't do that, so I'm gonna go with formulas. Let's get it out of the way and just say it together. The Super Shock Cheeks by Colourpop. One of my favorite formulas in my collection. These are probably some of my most used colors at least. This is Fire. This was a collaboration with Kathleen Lights. I've used this quite a lot. It is a neutral peachy gold. Absolutely love it. This one is in On My Mind. I like either these smaller packagings or this cardboard packaging. I don't like those big plastic packagings that they've been using lately. I don't feel the need for those. This is a beautiful, like, almost beigey peach. Ugh, such a pretty oh, I love this formula so much. Can you see that? Ugh, I just love this. These are so nice. I use them with my finger, I use them with my brush, I use them with a sponge, I use them with foundation, without foundation. Sometimes I bring something like this, like more neutral shades like these. I'll bring them on my vacation and I'll just dab a little on like my high points without any other makeup before going out. Ugh. It's such a wonderful formula. This is from the Disney collections. This is the Villains collection. This is Everybody's Got a Weakness. This is a Hades highlighter. This is a neutral beigey peach to a more pinky peach. So stunning. Absolutely love it. I can't lie, I love it. I also have to be honest with myself and say that if we are talking about top 3 highlighters in my collection, this is really in its own category. This is the Space Age Prophecy highlighter by Kaleidos. This is a multi-chrome highlighter. It is a fiery peach to a yellow gold to a green, and the formula is just so incredible, and it looks so it's so weird that something that looks like this can be this wearable, because it's just such a cool highlighter. It really is such a cool highlighter. It looks incredible on the skin. It's just such a great, if you want to really amp up your look a bit, take it to the next level if you're going out, or if you really want to have a cool highlighter with your look. This is just such a good highlighter, and if you feel like you have it all and you just want to add something unique to your collection, this is definitely a suggestion for me, because that is unlike anything else I have in my collection. At least I have quite a few like highlighters, and I'm gonna be honest, I haven't used this formula in a bit, but when I was looking through, I have to be honest and say that this formula is so good. This formula is so good that I bought more. It's just such a good formula. This is the Lethal Cosmetics, I think these are called Wavelength highlighter. I got them in 2 shades in PR. This is in Ionic, which is a very light shade, slightly too light for me. When you swatch these, they seem like nothing. They seem like they're gonna be dry and dusty. You're like, this is not it. But on the cheeks, they just look wet. wet. This is Isotope. This is like more of a slightly beigey champagne. I love these so much that I decided to make my own palette, because on Little Cosmetics website you can make your own eyeshadow palette, you can make your own face palette. So I decided to make my own trio of highlighters. I don't remember exactly which shades these are, but I have it written down, so I will put it in the description box in case you're interested. But it is a yellow, a like more cantaloupe, and then it is a beige. Incredibly, like, just so wet looking, so pretty, and it's just, again, it doesn't look like much when you like do it like this, but like when you get them on your cheeks and you work them in with the brush, it just honestly looks like nothing. But it's just, it's one of those formulas. Maybe I can put a little bit on. Let's put a little bit on. I'll use a little bit of this caramelly shade here. I just feel like it looks like you have that dewy skin that you want to have, and it just looks so pretty. And I love all the shades that they have. I just, yeah, I really like this formula. I think it is a beautiful formula. It's so pretty, so pretty. Yeah, I like that. I really like that. Let me know, which are your favorites in these categories? I could have showed you my favorite setting sprays, but I'm gonna be honest, that would have been almost my entire collection of setting sprays. Could have shown you my favorite primers, but again, it would have been all of my primers, and I don't even have 3 favorite primers. I don't even have 3 favorite setting sprays. So it made no sense. This is not that channel. And maybe that's refreshing or annoying, depending on how you look at it. Please let me know your favorites down below. There is going to be one with the lip products and the eye products. It's coming soon. I hope you enjoyed. Don't forget to subscribe, and I will see you again tomorrow for a new video. Bye!